Ito ay isang motor na subok na ng nagdaang panahon. Isang motor na ngayon ay sinusubok ng teknolohiya ng makabagong pamamaraan at ng makabagong mundo. Lagpas isang taon na nang mabili ko ang aking Suzuki SV650 at naitakbo ko na ito ng higit 10,000 kilometro. Nakarating na ito sa iba't ibang lugar sa Luzon, Baler, Baguio, Dingalan, at ang pinakamalayo kong nabiyahe so far, ang North Loop na kung saan nainikot ko ang isla ng Luzon sa loob ng 2 araw. Malayo-layo na rin ang narating ko sa motor na ito, kaya tingin ko ay qualified na ako para bigyan ng review ang Suzuki SV650. Let's start with the engine. Ang selling point ng SV650 ay ang kanyang makina. Ito ay powered na isang 645cc 90-degree V-twin engine na kung saan ay nakakapag-produce ito ng 74 horsepower and 64 Nm of torque. In other words, malakas ang hatak nito at hindi ito magpapahuli pagdating sa racing at sa duluhan. Masarap ito gamitin sa expressways, madali ma-overtake at talagang maibubuga kahit sa mga 1000cc na motor. Ang makina ng SV ay kilala bilang isang bulletproof engine. Patunay dito ang cult following ng SV lalong-lalo na sa international racing scene. Ang tunog ng 90-degree V-twin ay isa na siguro sa mga pinaka-iconic na tunog ng mga motorsiklo. Masarap sa tenga, hindi nakakabulahaw, at tipong mag-e-enjoy ka sa kada piga ng silinyador. The engine itself is a gem of an invention. With more than 20 years in production, it is safe to say that the SV's engine values reliability among any other qualities. Pagdating naman sa looks ay hindi ka bibiguin ng SV. Sa panahon ngayon, na ibang-iba na ang mga design and more of our major manufacturers are leaning towards edgy, bionic-looking motorcycles like KTM and Yamaha, the SV remains a classic. Rounded, retro-looking, and closely resembles a Ducati Monster with that majestic trellis frame. The headlight is round, the tank shape is a semi-muscular oval, and the overall aesthetics is round except pagdating sa taillight na medyo pointy na ang datingan. The SV's design language is guaranteed to withstand the test of time. Hindi ito maluluma and will forever be a gorgeous looking bike. The instrument panel is digital, not TFT, but you get the necessary information like tachometer, odometer, speedometer, clock, fuel range, gear indicator, trip A, trip B, temperature, and among others. It is fairly visible to read even on sunny days. Stopping power at the front is provided by a dual 4-piston Tokiko calipers mounted on disc brakes and a single piston naman at the rear. Dual channel ABS comes as standard, which is great in today's standard. To sum up my more than 1 year of riding this bike, I've never activated the ABS, not once. It only goes to show that the braking power of the SV is pretty much adequate in the Philippines' terrific road conditions. Pagdating sa suspension, the SV is equipped with a 41mm telescopic front fork. At the rear, the SV is supported by a monoshock with adjustable rebound. The stock setting of the rear suspension is, I should say, matagtag. I almost got thrown off the bike when I hit a pothole in NLEX. Make sure to adjust the suspension setting based on your weight and preferences. Suzuki dealers here in the Philippines are happy to adjust them for you. The SV can hold 14.5 liters of gasoline. Based on my riding style, it can cover 300 kilometers before refueling. Of course, this figure will vary from rider to rider, and I would say that the SV is pretty much fuel efficient compared to other 650cc bikes in its class. The tire size is 120 up front and 160 at the rear. Both are mounted on 17-inch wheels, and some would say na maliit ang 160 sa likod at dapat palitan ng 180. Well, I think 160 is pretty much adequate for the size of the SV considering na slim ang body profile nito. 160 is also better for maneuverability, lalong-lalo na sa corners and mountain twisties. For the dimensions, ito ay may bigat na 198 kilograms. Mas mabigat ito sa MT-07, pero mas magaan naman sa Honda CB650R. Ito ay may seat height na 785mm, which is very friendly sa ating mga Pinoy na hindi kataasan. Ang ground clearance ay nasa 135mm. Medyo mababa ito, and based on my experience, madalas akong sumayad sa mga humps, lalo na kapag may backride. There's a workaround naman dito. Kailangan mo lang bagalan, and kung kaya, lagyan mo ng anggulo yung pag-atake sa mga humps na kalakihan. For the comfort, I think there are 3 factors that comprise this segment. One is yung quality of the seat. The type of seat ng SV is, I would say, medyo matigas na upuan. You would want to take frequent breaks lalo na kapag long rides. In my case, I do get some sort of numbness sa bandang calf, which requires me to take breaks often. Second is yung riding position. Based on my experience, the riding position of the SV is a combination of an upright and a bit sporty. So kumbaga naka-upright ka na may pagka-lean forward. This causes some sort of strain pagdating sa braso ko, and I think this is due to the dimension of the SV na medyo mahaba. Third is yung sa suspension. I think this is where Suzuki tried to minimize the cost of producing this bike. As I previously mentioned, medyo matagtag ang suspension nito, both front and rear. For everyone's information, ginagamit ko ito sa pang-araw-araw na commute sa trabaho, and I've treading EDSA during rush hours every day with no complaints whatsoever. In general, pagdating sa comfort, these issues are manageable naman, and I can fairly say na I can live with these quirks. These may be easily addressed with some aftermarket upgrades, kailangan mo lang gumastos ng extra. Wala masyadong special features ang SV650 compared to its competitors in the market na may riding modes, traction control, ride-by-wire, among others. Ang masasabing special feature lang ni SV ay ang low RPM assist, kung saan tinataasan nito ang RPM levels ng bike para maiwasan ng stalling. Importante ito para sa mga beginner riders para mag-grasp nila yung concept kung paano paandarin ang kanilang mga motorsiklo. Again, slowly disengaging the clutch, and I can basically launch the bike without using the throttle. Of course, wala namang bike na perpekto, di ba? Lahat may quirks and may shortcomings. Here are the SV's downsides na nakikita kong kailangan pang i-improve ni Suzuki. First is the lack of LED for the headlight and turn signals. At this day and age, dapat standard na siguro yung LEDs. LEDs last longer, are more energy efficient, and provides better visibility lalong-lalo na sa gabi. I remember when I was doing the North Loop and binabagtas ko ang Cagayan, I almost had close calls dahil hindi ko makita masyado yung daan. I also experienced a bit of fogging in the turn signals, lalo na kapag malamig ang panahon. Of course, these are easily addressed with aftermarket upgrades, pero mas maganda sana kung out of the factory naka-LED na siya all throughout. The seat is also a concern. As I previously mentioned, Medyo matigas ito at nire-require niya ang rider na magpahinga more often lalo na kapag long rides. The front suspension as well, although it works okay, siguro mas maganda kung naka-upside down fork na siya out of the factory. For the verdict, would I recommend this to riders looking for their first big bike? Well, definitely it's a yes. For the price of 429,000, I think the value proposition of the SB is unmatched. You get a lovely V-twin engine, dapper looks, bulletproof reliability, and loads of aftermarket parts. In a world of traction control, riding modes, ride-by-wire, the SB remains true to its roots. Raw, simple, reliable. What the SB offers is a pure riding experience between the rider and the machine without the extra and unnecessary technology. The SB withstood the test of time, and I can guarantee that this bike will continue to endure and inspire future generation of riders as it did for the past 2 decades. This is Quickshift PH, and this is the review of the venerable, the legendary Suzuki SV650. Peace.